Welcome everybody to God Family of Bikes. Got my brand new KTM 300 XCW bike, and I'm waiting for parts to come in, skid plate, handlebars. And while I'm waiting on those, I thought I'd come out and at least check out the suspension adjustment to see where it's at from stock. These bikes are set up for about 165 to 187 pound rider is what the spring's set up for. I'm 205 pounds without any gear, so I'm over that. I think I'm going to start with the stock spring though and see where I go from there. But we're going to measure it out and see what my sag looks like on that. The first thing you want to do though, according to the manual, is adjust your compression, high speed and slow speed compression, and then your rebound resistance on your shock. So we'll set those up first. The high speed compression is this knob right here on the inside there, and you start by cranking it all the way in till it bottoms out, and then your settings are 12 turns out is performance, 15 is standard, and 18 clicks is comfort. My bike came set up from the dealer standard, 15 clicks out. I'm gonna go ahead and start with comfort, and then when I take it out riding, I'll dial it in from there. So comfort will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, so that should be pretty soft. Now I know I just dial it in clockwise to stiffen that up. That's probably what I'll have to do because, again, like I said, I'm heavier than what this bike's designed for. So that's high speed compression. Slow speed compression, oh, I take that back. Opposite. The center one is slow speed compression. The outer nut here is your high speed compression. And so that one's set up. Again, you start by screwing it clockwise all the way in, and then you back it out. And again, same settings. Performance is 1 turn out, standard is 2 turns, and comfort's 2.5. You can use a 17 millimeter open end wrench. I didn't have one. My kit only goes up to 16, so I went ahead using a 17 millimeter socket, and I just put a mark on there so I know where I'm starting. And so I'll dial this in. Again, the dealer had this set to standard, and I'm gonna put it on comfort. So put that line straight up. Now if I just dial it around, so that's 1 turn out, 2 turns out, and then I just get that black line somewhere on the bottom. That's about 2.5. So that's my high speed compression. And again, high speed is not the speed your bike's going, but how fast the tire's compressing. So high speed's like when you come off a jump, that sets your damping when you come off a jump and you really hit hard and that suspension wants to compress. The slow speeds is as you roll over rollers, that's the slow compression and rebound, and that's the damping on the slow event rollers. And then rebound is done right down here in this location, and this is to control how fast your spring rebounds. There's only one setting on that, and again, you start by cranking it all the way in, and this is the same as the slow speed compression. 12 for performance, 15 for standard, and 18 for comfort. And again, I'm just, as a starting place, I'm gonna go to 18. So go 1, 2, 16, 17, 18. So now I've got my suspension all set up for comfort. All right, once you set up your rebound and compression settings on your rear shock absorber, you gotta come and do the same thing on your front. So we'll start here. Compression is on the top of your left fork, and rebound is on the top of your right fork. And again, these settings are very similar to most of the settings in the back. We'll count and see where the factory or the dealer set these up. So we'll go all the way in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So they've set it up again right at the standard. So I'm going to go to the comfort center setting. Again, performance is 12, standard is 15, and comfort is 18. So 1, 2, 16, 17, 18. All right, now we'll flip over and do the rebound side. And again, it's probably the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's it. 1, 2, 16, 17, 18. Comfort. Now your front forks are set up. Compression, rebound. All right, now that we've set up our slow and high speed rebound and compression, the next thing we need to do is figure out where we're at in the suspension travel. So the book has you measure sag straight down from the axle, but in reality this suspension is pivoting about your pivot point to the axle. So I've went ahead and made a little mark here with a Sharpie, and I think measuring it there gives you the most straight line measurement to tell what your sag actually is. So we start with, this is our free sag, so this is our baseline measurement with the rear axle completely unloaded, so we're hanging free here in the back. Suspension's all the way down. This is our baseline measurement to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this both ways, kind of the way I'm doing it. 575 millimeters. So go ahead and write that down. And then I'll also just do as straight line as I can here. And I'm going to call that 620 millimeters. All right, so the next measurement is static sag. And so this is how much the suspension is going to collapse just under the weight of the bike. And this is the first dimension that you have in your owner's manual of where it should be. So you just want to kind of set it up. You'll need another person here to hold the bike up straight. And then you just kind of want to balance it so that it's sitting under its own weight. And then you come back, take the same measurement from our point there. I get 547. Measuring that way. And then if I go straight up and down, I'm getting 589. All right, so now if we just subtract those two numbers, that'll give us our static sag. So this one is 28 millimeters, and this one comes out to be 31 millimeters. So they're pretty close, and the factoring setting on this is supposed to be 37 millimeters. We're not sagging as much as the factory said it should be set up, and so that's probably because at the dealership they cranked the preload up on my spring. So static sag, 37 millimeters. All right, now that we've determined static sag, the next thing to do is get riding sag or race sag. So ideally what you would want to do is get the intended rider and all their gear. Since I'm pretty far off, I'm going to do it without gear on this, and we'll just see what it is with my race, with my weight only. So get up on the bike. You want to, it says to get it where you would normally sit. And then you kind of want to just make sure that the suspension is exercised, and then you want to sit here and measure now the distance between. All right, now we're getting riding sag or race sag. Simon, what's the dimension with the rider on it?
This is about 454.
All right.
And then from here it's about 483.
good.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we measured 454 and 483, and that's going to give us 121 there, and that's going to give us 137 there, and factory setting should be 410. So you can see I'm sagging at least 10 millimeters more than I should be, and with this measurement it's quite a bit, 27 millimeters more. Again, I think this is the more accurate measurement, and it makes sense because I'm heavier than the 185 pounds this bike is set up for. So we'll run it and see how it feels, and then I may, depending on how it feels, swap out that spring to a higher spring rate for my weight, and then these numbers here I can probably get closer to these values if I have the right rate spring in there. Okay, so again we went through setting this all up just to show you guys that here's the collar that you loosen up to adjust your preload on the spring. My guess is they've preloaded this a little bit more from the dealer than what the factory says. We'll check that out later if I decide I need to swap out the spring. So at least I know where I'm starting from. Again, I'll give this a ride and see how she runs with these settings, and then evaluate whether or not I need to go up to a stiffer spring. If I've done something wrong here, leave me a comment down in the description box or in the comment section and let me know if I've screwed something up. I hope you guys enjoyed how to set up your race sag on your KTM 300, and if you liked it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, give me a like. I can always use subscribers, and God bless and have fun riding.